Hello, everyone. Welcome to World History. I'd like to start by introducing myself. My name is Mrs. Ture, and I earned a Master's of Arts in Teaching from Bowie State University quite a few years ago. I've been married for 22 years and I have two children. I'm a special education teacher at Northwestern High School, and I've been teaching at Northwestern for 7 years, and I've been teaching 10 plus years. All right, let's get into our course description. This is a very informative course, one that students will get a lot of benefit from. So, during this course, World History, students will develop an understanding of current world issues. We'll be doing lots of current events, talking about current politics that's happening with the elections, for example. We're also going to relate those events or world issues to the historical, political, social, and economic roots that they come from. Okay, we're also going to improve our historical and analytical skills. We're going to be reading and writing, also to improve those skills. Um, our first lessons will entail how to think like a historian. So we're going to spend a few weeks looking at some ways that students can improve their skills when it comes to looking at history. Okay, and there are lots of so many different uh, formats that students can use when it comes to research and analyzing and breaking down what we learn in history. Okay. Within the unit, students will be tested. They will take at least one test or quiz. They'll have other types of assessments. They could be presentations, they could be um, class discussions. So there'll be more than one way to show their learning. They'll also have a chance to practice and participate in the many assignments that would be posted in Google Classroom. They'll also do some vocabulary building exercises because we have so many different concepts in history that students, for example, some of our recent lessons, we talked about the political spectrum. That's a very big concept. That's one concept that they're going to see through their daily lives from now until uh, through adulthood. So we're also going to look at reading strategies and activities because very important. History is all about reading and breaking down information through reading. All right, let's continue. Okay, some course activities. So during this course, students can expect to read informative texts, textbooks, and other nonfiction secondary choices. They're also going to be reading different types of sources. They're going to be analyzing primary sources as well as secondary sources, and they're going to learn what this means. Okay, they're going to be analyzing graphs, political cartoons, maps, and other visuals. They're going to do current events analysis. In fact, one of their first assignments was a current event analysis. They're going to look into CNN news for students. It's a very informative news site that's built just for students. And they're also going to do some formative writing assignments. I think writing and the practice of writing is very important for students. All right, let's look at what our warm up schedule would look like. So, warm ups will happen on a weekly basis. Students could have journals on Monday, they could have historical quote analysis on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, vocabulary, Thursdays, political cartoons, Fridays, CNN news details. Okay. All right, course topics. So these are some of the things that we will be studying as part of the course. We're going to look at the world in the 1700s. We're specifically going to start by looking at the Black Plague or looking at the Middle Ages. So it brings us into the Renaissance. Then we look at the formation of democratic ideas and the democratic revolutions. Um, and then we look into some of the other revolutions that come about because of these preceding revolutions. We're going to look at um, industrial revolution, rise of imperialism, of colonialism, all of these different ideas that have shaped us the way we are today as a society, as a global world. So we're going to basically be painting a big picture for students to look at and say, this is why it's this way today. Why do we have protests? Why do we have, certain wars that are happening around the world? They'll be able to make those connections. Okay. They're also going to be looking at cause and effects of World War One and Two. These are very recent wars, and we're going to get a chance to take a look at, you know, some reasons why they happened, and analyze how they happened, and what was the consequences that we had because of them. Okay. Also, the rise of authoritarian governments. We're going to look at the causes and consequences that are directly related to World War II. And we're going to look at some international developments. We're going to look at also nation building that happened, that came directly out of World War II. Okay, the world decided to become more globalized in handling its issues with each other to avoid any more wars. All right, technology. Let's look at technology. All right, so very important to us this year because of virtual learning. We will be focused mostly on a lot of high tech or low tech or any kind of technology that can be used to access our class activities and classroom. So first of all, we will be using Google Meet or Zoom. I will most likely be focusing on Zoom. The students were invited through email, and they have the Zoom ID for my class as well as the passcode, and that will not change. So through the year, whenever they want to connect with class, they will use that passcode and that password to enter the class. Assignments will be done during class time virtually, as well as discussions will be participated in. And every assignment that is done by students will be posted in Google Classroom, and they'll earn grades that will be transferred over to SchoolMax. But everything will be posted in Google Classroom. That is required of the students. Okay. Some other important resources that we might fall to use will be Kahoots, Nearpod, Pop, Quiz, and Edpuzzle, to name a few. All right, and students will be looking at videos, and we will be doing tutorials to help students in using these different apps. And, we'll try to do as much review as possible so that nobody's stuck. Okay. Let's look at, last but not least, some information about grades. So, grades will be divided into three categories only. Assessment grade will be 40% of your total weight of grades. Classwork grades will be 35%, as well as independent uh, classwork, which would be 25% of your grade. If you need more information and would like to connect with your students' grades, there's this link for the family portal. Okay, I will go ahead and upload this presentation to the Google Classroom so that you can access it and you can use it as a resource. Also, below there is the link for the counseling office, and this is a wonderful website. They have every information you could ever think about. So if you have any need for any type of information, I would go directly to this link, and through this link, the counseling office website, you could connect with your counselor and have questions answered, any questions you have about school. And then also, I have over here in green highlighted is the information about your administrators. Okay. the including their grade levels that they service. So they were the ones that you would also contact if you had very dire questions. All right, let's move ahead. Okay, communications. Best of all, to communicate with me, I can be reached through my email. You can email me. That's the best way, fastest way to reach me. I do have a Google number that is posted in the Google Class website. So you could also call that number to reach me. But like I said, the email is my best communication tool to reach me fastest. Also, the Zoom information is listed and it shows the password and the personal ID if you wanted to connect, and also the link for Zoom. And the Google Class, your student has account the code for that. Okay, so they could access that way also if there were any questions or concerns. All right, so it's nice to meet all of you on this beautiful back to school night, virtual back to school night. And I look forward to working with your different students, and have a great day.